for running these entities
Yes.
in public trust.
Does it?
You know, privatization is the transfer of industry, business, or service from the public management to a private management. They ought to have told us in a span of 3 years, and William Ruto just took power 13 months ago. Well, how fast is he so determined to ascertain the losses KICC has been making while this building has been there since time immemorial? Let me tell you something. There is nothing like losses. And before I get to what I want to say, circumstances are clear on economic background, on situations whereby privatizations may be imminent. And privatization has been an evolving concept from 80s, 90s, and even the 20th century here in 2020s. The concept of privatization in the 80s is much far different from what we may consider now, because we've witnessed various drastic market adjustment trends. But all said and done, all this culminates to the dalliance between President William Ruto, the most handsome man before the IMF ladies. Hey, the moment IMF sees William Ruto, they see handsome man, a man who executes. In whose interest is this dalliance between President William Ruto and the IMF and the World Bank? I will say without any fear of favor that IMF and World Bank are Western economic or financial schemes that were primarily designed and founded on the principles of strangling African economy, ensuring that we remain where we were never before. In the Ruto's economic activities, it is 1 step forward, 3 steps backward.
Yes.
Ruto just took power the other day, 13 months ago. The GMO concept has been a no-go zone in this country since President Kibaki was in office. Uhuru Kenyatta took 10 years when he was the deputy and opposition leader at the same time. Now he just came to power the other day. He realizes that we really need to import GMO. I had said before, and I will still repeat, let William Ruto donate a portion of his vast land that he has. Let Babaman follow, let Uhuru Kenyatta follow, and the people of goodwill, we embrace organic farming. Because let me tell you, when I drag IMF into this war, I'm not speaking out of hearsay.
Yes.
The IMF and World Bank have set conditions for their loans. And you see the president is almost meeting IMF and posting for photos with the directors every day. I nowadays refer to President William Ruto as maybe the future most preferred IMF director, East African branch, because he is ever with IMF, World Bank. These people set for him conditions. The structural readjustment, even all the way stretching from the university funding module to secondary school government subsidy, these are IMF set conditions. The removal of subsidies is an IMF set condition. Let me explain how. The IMF gives loans. They tell you for you to receive these loans and maybe directly into the agricultural phenomenon. There is what we call the 100% certification, the seed certification policy by the World Bank. The World Bank wants to ensure that all seeds that farmers grow are certified. What is the repercussions on the indigenous farming and the, let me call it indigenous farming? The certified seeds requires constant fertilizer application.
Yes.
The fertilizer application stretches all the way to environmental pollution, leaving the land economically unproductive after a while. I studied agriculture in high school, by the way, and I think I was one of the best agriculture students. So I know what I'm talking about, the types of fertilizer and etc.
Yes.
These seeds, if you grow these so-called hybrid seeds, let's say 2 seasons, they tend not to do well in the next season.
Yeah, that's true.
Compared to our indigenous seeds, they can do better now, tomorrow and even in the future. The other week I was in our place in Kisumu, and my father erected some small garden farm within the home, and they planted indigenous maize. I'm telling you, Simba, walk into our compound today. The maize are equally taller than myself, and they are having 3 maize cobs on it.
Yes, sir.
No fertilizer application, no nothing. Very productive. But here comes a case, we are producing fertilizer. They started with fertilizer. That's why I said these are IMF policies.
Yes.
The president started with fertilizer. That was a red alert on my side. I said this is a red flag. He came with subsidized fertilizer. You can't subsidize what you are donated to. You only give what you have. And that's why Kenyans are finding it tough to fund this government, because the president is taking more than he is giving to the people. Yep. Now we have this fertilizer. They brought the fertilizer concept. We went quiet. They brought the GMO concept. And Moses Kuria, when he was the minister in charge of trade and investment, he said, a lot of things add up to the list of things killing Kenyans. What is wrong with us adding GMO to the list? Because at the end of the day, you will die. In progressive societies where leaders are accountable to the people and respect the sovereignty of the people, Moses Kuria would have been kicked out long time ago. But that is the problem. The president has cartels, and he wants to reward his political loyalists in as much as the people's sovereignty is being undermined. That's why we get it wrong. So we must strive to remain independent. We must say, in as much we are going to work with IMF, the sovereignty of the people must be respected. The importation of substandard items, economic resuscitation and building of an economy will never be achieved through constant influx of substandard commodities and overtaxation of the people of Kenya. That can only be achieved through local production, where we are going to increase on the GDP. Because the moment we are doing more of importation, that's how we reduces the GDP value. The per capita income, also the buyer purchasing power, all this shrinks to the lowest level. And that's why we are where we are as a country. So IMF must give us peace. We will soon conduct a peaceful demonstration to tell IMF to keep off Kenyan affairs. We are sovereign. They can stay with their loans.
William, here's the thing, but gentlemen.